Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, the way he runs at you. Oh, you son of a bitch. MADiSON is an immersive and terrifying first-person psychological horror game, and it's currently 30% off. Featuring disturbing gameplay and an unsettling, compelling narrative. Over 700 people have rated this 4.56 out of 5 stars, with 89% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I gotta say, these guys actually nailed the theme down. Not that I know anything from experience, but everything I've researched, they absolutely captured the essence of all of the lore and the theme behind this. So I really don't want to spoil this for you guys, because I do think part of the experience was not knowing anything about the game, jumping into it fully. That said, I am super excited to share with you guys. I did actually post a video called I Know the Best Way to Play MADiSON, and hands down I do think that is the only way to play this game. I'm not going to get into it. Please remember, this is a flat screen game that was ported to VR, so all the objects in the rooms and stuff, you're not going to be able to interact with everything. Normally you'd walk up to the area and see an icon, and then you know you can interact with it. Whereas in my video, I'm showing you how to turn all of that off. So I highly encourage you, if you're going to get this game and you want to play it the most immersive way possible, hands down, that is the way. That said, this game is not for everybody. It is the scariest game I have ever played, for sure. The most jump scares, the most panic attacks, essentially. Oh, shit! That never gets old either. Let me out of here, man! Even when things aren't going down, the atmosphere is so well done. You know, you feel really tense throughout the entire experience. So that's all I want to say about it. I do want you to get the game if you can play it. But this is a straight up horror puzzle game. You will not have the ability to defend yourself with any weapons or anything like that. So yeah, heads up. But that said, I do want everybody, everybody to experience this game, because it really does show you how VR transforms the entire gaming experience. I'm telling you, man, I've never played the flat screen game. I do not need to. VR is the way to go on this one, for sure. Shit. And yet another absolute must-have for every PSVR2 owner, you can get the Resident Evil Gold Edition at 60% off. With almost 35,000 people rating this 4.68 out of 5 stars, 91% of the audience gave this 4 or 5 out of 5. And just like Resident Evil 4, the game does not have that VR mode built in, so you do need to go to the PlayStation Store, find Resident Evil Village, go all the way down till you see add-ons, click that VR mode, install it, then load the game up and you're ready to go. But unlike the standard edition, this Gold Edition at 60% off does include a whole plethora of extras that some of it does work in VR, and we're going to go over this really quick. In the Gold Edition, you are getting the Trauma Pack DLC, and with that, it does include the Samurai Edge AW Model 01, and that is available in VR, as well as the Resident Evil 7 found footage filter, and that is not available in VR, as that's for the flat screen experience only. You're getting the Resident Evil 7 tape recorder save point. Unfortunately, that is not in VR. You're getting Safe Room Music Go Tell Aunt Rhody, that is in VR, as well as the Mr. Everywhere weapon charm, that is in VR as well. And with this Trauma Pack, you'll immediately unlock the Village of Shadows difficulty. And I do not know whether or not that Village of Shadows difficulty is available in VR. Anybody in the comments section, if you've played this, please let us know whether or not we can do this in VR. If not, I'm going to have to check it out sooner than later and let everybody know. You're also getting the Tragedy of Ethan Winters artwork and the Baker Incident Report, which are not available in VR. But the most important part of the Gold Edition that you're getting here is the Winters expansion. And there are 3 main modes to this game, and they're not available in VR, unfortunately. The first one is the ability to play the game in third-person mode. This is the classic Resident Evil 4, where you're seeing yourself in third person. But man, I gotta say, if you're a huge fan of the Resident Evil series, you probably will want to check this out. As well, this includes the Mercenaries additional orders. And just like the Resident Evil 4, this is a separate minigame where it's all about your skills in these time-based challenges. But unlike Resident Evil 4, this one includes 3 new characters, including the towering Lady Dimitrescu, as well as Heisenberg from what I'm seeing here in the trailer. I do not know that third one. Anyone in the comments section, if you want to let us know, that'd be great. But the most significant part of this DLC is called Shadows of Rose. And this is a new scenario starring the grown-up Rose, Ethan's beloved daughter, who was kidnapped as a baby, that kicked off the original Village story. And just showing you real quick the rating that this actual DLC received, I am assuming that is the Shadows of Rose DLC, that is that extra storyline plot. I do wish that was in VR, like Daughters on Resident Evil 7. Don't know why they didn't do that. That would have been really cool to play. And speaking of which, the next DLC is again not in VR, but I didn't even know this existed until I did these sales videos. In the base game, you do get for free Resident Evil Reverse. This is an online multiplayer game that you play against your friends where you're fighting each other as teams. Then whoever dies, they spawn into these monsters and now they're attacking you. I've never played before, again, not in VR, will never play this. It even says in the description that the online service does not last forever and at any time this game could go offline, so heads up. And for all of you that are unsure whether or not the Resident Evil Village is for you, I highly recommend you do get the gameplay demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. But of course, the next game that needs to be in every PSVR2 library, we're talking about Resident Evil 4, and it's 50% off right now. With over 88,000 people rating the game, it scored 4.76 out of 5 stars, with 94% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Incredible. And just speaking from experience again, I've never played this game before in the past whatsoever. This was my first experience in VR on the PSVR2, and I gotta say, man, I was blown away. And what I mean by that is, unlike Resident Evil Village, this game does take that classic video game challenge formula and then reinvents it in VR with all these zombies running at me at full room scale. What I absolutely loved about this game is it is a testament to taking a traditional video game, literally with all of the challenges, and not compromising it whatsoever for the VR medium. If anything, only enhancing it, giving you more freedom to actually move and dual wield. Spinning your body around in full life-size room scale VR is just an experience you cannot get on the flat screen, literally. But before I get ahead of myself, I do have to let everybody know when you go to buy this game, it does not have that VR mode initially locked into it. You do have to go to the PlayStation Store, find Resident Evil 4, go all the way down. You're going to see add-ons there, and then you're going to see the Resident Evil 4 VR mode. Click that, download it, install it, then jump into the game. And real quick, I do have to show you right now, in order to play this game in full room scale VR, you do have to go to the settings I'm showing you right here. So when you hit your options button, go to options, VR controls, locomotion, controller. Pressing forward, looking around, I'm still able to move forward, guys. Still able to pull back and look around without him moving the body. When I press forward and move my body completely, look, he's turning around. It knows. It knows. And of course, every time they put this game on sale, they do include some add-ons. And as I go through these extra DLCs, I'm going to speak to what is available in VR and what isn't. So in VR, you can use the Resident Evil Deluxe weapon Sentinel 9. It's 25% off. Or you can purchase the weapon Skull Shaker. It's 25% off. You can even use these accessories in VR, but you're not going to see them on your face. You might see them in a cinematic mode when they're showing Leon. It's 25% off. And the other one they're offering is a bunch of costumes. This one's called the Casual set for both Leon and Ashley. It's 25% off. And the next costumes available for Leon and Ashley is called Romantic. It's 25% off. But the next DLC, it says specifically the actual filter is not available for VR. This one's called Costume and Filter Hero. It's 25% off. When it comes to the filter, that's a 2D flat screen experience. And what you're seeing here, this is an actual image of the before and after. So personally, when I'm seeing this, it looks really washed out. I'd rather just the original look altogether. And the other filter set that is not available in VR, this one's called Costume and Filter Villain. It's 25% off. Quickly showing you here, this is the actual filter, and I feel like it looks kind of red and orangey. It doesn't look as good as the original version, so I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm not seeing it on my screen. I don't know why anybody would want to do this, but unless I'm missing something, please let me know. However, the next DLC is available for you to use in VR, and it does sound like the coolest piece. All of you out there who have played Resident Evil back in the day, number 4, you will love this original version soundtrack swap. It's 25% off, and right from the PlayStation Store description, it does say you can switch this up, pausing the menu and going into the extras menu. And of course, this can be used for the main game. However, it does not work for the Separate Ways DLC, which again is not in VR, so don't worry about that one. And the next DLC is available in VR. This is called the Treasure Map Expansion. It's 25% off, and quite simply, in the game, you do automatically have this treasure map, and this simply just gives you more items on that treasure map, if not a couple extra items that weren't in the actual base game. And the location of those additional treasures can be confirmed in the main game map area there. But get this, some of the actual treasures you obtain in the main game using this expansion pack can be used in the Separate Ways DLC. So it's right there in the description, Sony's official statement there. You can see it for yourself. And if all of that interests you, you can get the bundle. It's called the Resident Evil 4 Extra DLC Pack, and it's 25% off. And again, just showing the list of all the content that we just went over and just speaking to this. Again, not everything works in VR. It's giving you an actual bullet form here, what's compatible and what's not compatible. So it is really confusing, being honest with you. However, I do not recommend any of this extra stuff. Just get the base game, especially at this sale price. That's all you need. That's all I needed to play the game, loving it and playing it all the way through. And the last piece of DLC that is offered still for Resident Evil 4, this has to do with upgrading your weapons using tickets. The first offering they have are individual tickets. They're 25% off each, and you can see there's an A on this one, and they're labeled this way because you can only get 6 of them, and then after that you can't buy any more individual tickets. That's why they're labeled A, B, C, D, E, and F. However, they do offer a triple pack, and it's 25% off, again lettering them A, B, C, and D. And then they offer one 5-pack, and it's 25% off. And then there is a letter A there. However, again, that's the only one that they're offering. And just to speak to this, it is confirming that you can use this in the main game, of course, and the Separate Ways DLC. Again, that Separate Ways DLC is not in VR, so it's just speaking to all the things you can do with it. As well, you can download another free add-on called The Mercenaries, but it's not in VR. 366 people have rated this, 4.34 out of 5 stars, with 80% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And this game mode is all about racing against the clock and battling your way to the top of the leaderboards. But of course, if you're unsure whether or not Resident Evil is for you, I highly recommend you get that gameplay demo on the PlayStation Store right now. Don your gas mask, wield handmade weapons, and venture into the depths of this apocalyptic nightmare in Metro Awakening Deluxe Edition. And it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. With over 1,700 people rating it 4.51 out of 5 stars, 88% of the audience gave this 4 or 5 out of 5. In the year 2028, the survivors of nuclear war cling to the existence in the buried subways of the Moscow Metro, which has become civilization's last refuge and tomb, where spirits haunt the living in this man-made purgatory. You are a doctor searching for your wife as you brave the crippling radiation, darkness, and deadly threats of the Metro, desperately trying to find the medication she needs. As your courage and sanity are pushed to the limit, you must learn to walk the line between life and death, the spiritual and the material world, and awaken the being you must become. And what you're getting with this package, obviously the base game and some goodies, as you're seeing a complete list right here. First, you're getting this VR concept art gallery, which isn't in the traditional two-dimensional flip art style that we've seen in every other video game. This is an actual VR environment that you're walking around and looking at some of the objects. I personally, again, haven't experienced this before, but what I'm seeing here on Reddit, that's exactly what it sounds like. So really cool implementation there. As well, you're getting the Nautilus hide backpack, skeletal gloves, toy charm, and the fallen patch. And from what I understand, this is only cosmetics. There are no actual bonuses for wearing these in-game. I think they're just skins altogether, but again, that has to do with the original Metro games. If you played them before, which I haven't, I can't speak to it. Get some sort of nostalgic flair from that, I'm not too sure. Either way, I've only heard great things about this game, and I do know there was a major patch that fixed some lighting issues that were present at launch. Anyone in the comments that can speak to this, if you played it, loved it, or hate it, that would be awesome. Let us know whether or not there's anything we should expect, any wonkiness, or if this game's good to go. And another must-have bundle if you love the environmental puzzle games. This is Red Matter Collection, and it's 30% off. Over 1,300 people have rated this 4.67 out of 5 stars, with 94% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. As Agent Epsilon in Red Matter, you'll investigate a top-secret research project on Rhea, one of Saturn's moons. Decipher hidden messages and mechanisms using an array of high-tech tools in a surreal, high-detail, brutalist environment. But beware, the truth you uncover may be darker than you ever imagined. And I have to say, I did just play this again for the first time on the PSVR2, and I felt like the entire game looked much better, and that could have been just because everything was sharp and clean at the 4K HDR OLED display here. But the room scale, me walking around freely, full 360, being able to interact with everything with no tracking issues whatsoever, the adaptive triggers, the controls, everything just felt way better. So yes, even though you might have played this on the PSVR 1 a long time ago, there is a free upgrade for Red Matter 1. I do highly recommend you put it in and play it for a couple more hours, play it all over, and then go play Red Matter 2. In Red Matter 2, you'll play as Sasha, an agent awakened in a lunar base by an undercover operative and tasked with uncovering the secrets of the mysterious red matter. Follow a trail left behind by someone from Sasha's past, and be prepared for mind-bending puzzles, stealth and platforming mechanics, and intense combat sections. Quite simply, this game has blown me away technically speaking, and has set the bar for what I expect a PSVR2 game can look and play like. And I am happy to report I've just completed it, and every moment in Red Matter 2 is utterly jaw-dropping. Just as a heads up, the story does kick off right after Red Matter 1, and I highly recommend you play that one first. And even though this trailer does show some action sequences, it's really about 5% of the game, and a few have commented in the past that they felt bored playing it. So I do have to manage expectations here. Personally, I had a blast with this entire game and have to remind everyone that this really is an environmental puzzle-based game. So I don't even want to tell you anything about the story. It did make a lot of sense to me, part 1, and now it's making a lot more sense as I'm playing just the first hour of the game. I cannot get over just walking around ever so slowly using my full body to turn in room scale VR, and everything just feels absolutely smooth and seamless.
Like movement based on controller. Yes, this is what you do want for room scale VR. Otherwise, if you go by head, when you're moving forward and you turn your head, all of a sudden your guy's going to walk that way. It's not realistic. You want it on controller for every game. And just to point this out as a room scale walking example, if I move forward and keep my arms still straight, that's how I can still move forward and look around. The moment I turn my arm with my head while pressing forward, that's what's turning me. It just feels like a next-gen experience, and you don't want to go back after that. You know, not using a right stick to turn at all. We don't do that in real life, you know what I'm saying? It's just natural to walk and look around. Wow. That's the hardest thing, guys. You really can't show people what this headset can do until they put it on. And again, you can talk about it all you want, but even myself, who's owned this for almost 2 years now, I still get blown away.
We can solve this problem once and for all.
They're trying to make a vaccine. You want to come? Good dog, buddy!
Arizona Sunshine 2 Deluxe Edition, the next-gen sequel to the fan-favorite VR Apocalypse, is currently 39% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 44% off total. Over 2,400 people scored this 4.53 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And with this Deluxe Edition, you do get the exclusive Undead Buddy skin, as you're seeing here, as well as the exclusive Freddy Flesh Hand skin, and the exclusive Doggy Weapon Charm, which I don't think it does anything in the game. It could just be this decorative thing, but I gotta say, I did play the first one, beat it all the way through. I thought the game was good, but man, after seeing the trailers for Arizona Sunshine 2, this does look like the full next-gen title that I've been waiting for. In a post-apocalyptic world where every bullet counts, experience the thrill of realistic combat as you wield all new and fan-favorite weapons. And what's really kick-ass, man, that I've been waiting to play this game, you can enjoy the full campaign in 2-player co-op mode. As well, you can join up to 3 other players in 4-player co-op Horde mode, and they've already released an abundance of maps for the actual Horde mode, so very cool, man. They put a lot of love and attention to this game and then included all this extra DLC. And what's better than braving the end of the world than surviving it with your new best friend, Buddy? Not only is Buddy your 4-legged companion through thick and thin, he's also the goodest boy and will help take down those pesky Freds for you. And they really put a spotlight on this dog, man. There's even extra skins like an undead doggy and, you know, another breed of dog, the corgi, altogether, which is really weird but looks really cool. Everyone in the past that's commented on this game whenever it's gone on sale has only said great things about this game, seriously. And again, if you have a friend to play with or friends to play with, only better from what I'm hearing.
Good morning, Arizona. Hope you're all well. To all survivors of Sunshine Festival 2016.
And what's really cool, for those that didn't get to experience the first game, Arizona Sunshine, you can now get the new Arizona Sunshine Freddy's Bundle at 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. And this bundle simply puts both games together at an even better price for those that don't already own the original on PSVR 1. Otherwise, I recommend upgrading the first game for like $10 and then getting the Deluxe separately there on sale. And I just have to speak to this really quick. Arizona Sunshine on the PSVR 1. I did experience that co-op mode and I thought it was good. Again, good. That's the best way to describe it. But the mechanics were not polished like Farpoint. I'm totally expecting the game to look as good as it is on the trailer. However, I'm hoping the actual mechanics, the gameplay, the controls are much better than what I remember on the PSVR1, just saying. What I didn't realize is that this remake actually offers all of the DLC from the first game. Very cool, man. Being honest, I don't think I played any of the DLC. I just played the original campaign all the way through with my friend, and I was kind of done with it after that. So, and of course, they've kept that intact. You can play the original campaign in co-op mode on Arizona Sunshine Remake, as well as the 4-player Horde mode, and I do believe that was already available on the PSVR1, so nothing different there from what I remember. And then they are claiming to have taken the Arizona Sunshine 2 mutilation and gore system and bringing it into Arizona Sunshine Remake. So that's really cool. As well, I feel it's very important to mention that Arizona Sunshine, if you didn't know, the original game did receive Best VR Game of the Year by Upload VR in 2016, Best Virtual Reality Game of 2017 by Dutch Game Awards, and Best HTC Vive First Person Shooter in 2016 by the Vive Awards. And just to remind you again, if you do own the game on the PSVR1, do pay that upgrade fee before buying this on sale at that sale price. The sequel from the classic Rush of Blood from the PSVR1 comes the next generation of roller coaster arcade horror in The Dark Pictures Switchback VR, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. With over 2,200 people rating this 4.21 out of 5 stars, 81% of the audience gave this 4 or 5 out of 5. And even though this is a great rating, it truly is hindered from a disastrous launch, with many claiming that it looked like a blurry PSVR1 game. I'm so glad I waited to actually play the game for that patch to come out and fix everything, and I can say I have played it all the way through since that patch, and yes, it is absolutely beautiful. Everything feels really smooth during the gameplay. I did not experience any of the stuff that people were originally reporting, so hands down, Supermassive Games, you totally fixed everything and made the game awesome. And I really feel compelled now, everyone out there who's heard other reviewers talk about Rush of Blood and how this didn't live up to it, I actually had the opposite experience. I loved Rush of Blood, man. I mean, loved it. And I feel this game is better. I really do. So maybe it's the theme for some people, but I played this after the patch and it felt like I was living in this virtual nightmare. The sound, the 3D audio, you know, is next gen on its own.
Oh, it sounds like somebody's right here, man. Right there whispering. I got a bit of chill.
To see the 4K HDR graphics.
Yep, that fire is incredible. Whoa!
Having my head touch actual branches with headset haptics.
Right on, seriously, I was just about to say.
Being in the dark, seeing these shadows fly around you.
Oh yes, that audio.
Seeing fire light up the room the way it did, it just like, you know, I almost felt the heat, no joke. Everything was so well done, so immersive. I really encourage anyone to get this game because all you need to do is just sit down throughout the entire experience. Again, this is for almost all ages.
What's this, times 10 and times 1? Oh, I see. So those are worth 10. And those little bottles are worth 1. Move your head to avoid obstacles. Oh, neat, guys. Oh, I took that in the head. I felt that too. That's nice.
And unlike Rush of Blood, the amount of times that I had jump scares in this game.
That was incredible. My whole body's still feeling the chills, man.
I do not remember that in Rush of Blood. I remember the entire experience was a lot of fun, arcade-like. This took the atmosphere to another level.
Oh, that's weird. Oh man, I want to look at the water, but I can't. That's awesome. Feel that. Nice.
And then they include, unlike Rush of Blood, a new Horde mode, and this is for free. It did not launch with the game, so if you do own it, you've never played this before, go on the PlayStation Store, look up Switchback VR, and then find that add-on pack for free. Do play this. This is a lot of fun. To think the game is now $19.99 on sale Canadian, half off essentially if you're a PlayStation Plus member. You absolutely need this in your libraries, and if you just played this before the patch, you need to reinstall the game and load it back up and see how dramatically different the game has been since launch. Vertigo 2 is a single-player action-adventure built from the ground up for VR, and it's 35% off right now. Over 800 people have rated this 4.32 out of 5 stars, with 82% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. This game has an incredible range of environments that makes Vertigo 2 a constantly fresh adventure. You'll have to face bizarre alien flora and fauna leaking from other universes. It includes both smooth locomotion and teleportation. You can carry an arsenal of 14 weapons, all with unique reload mechanics. Right on. As well, this has a diverse cast that brings the many characters of Vertigo 2 to life. At 10 hours long, Vertigo 2 gives a full-fledged single-player experience with replayability that allows you to blaze through the game a second time, taking branching paths with brand new weapons, enemies, and bosses. And that sounds completely awesome. The only negative, and I mean the only negative I'm hearing about this game, is that it doesn't have a consistent smooth frame rate. I'm not sure if that's throughout the entire game, but from what I understand, it's only inconsistent when it comes to the large open outdoor areas. I personally have not played this yet, but I'm very interested in getting this, and I did just get the PS5 Pro recently, and I did hear that it runs better on it, but I do believe everyone everywhere when they say that this game is a must-have if you own the PSVR2.
Hellsweeper.
Experience the most advanced combat mechanics to ever grace a video game in Hellsweeper VR Deluxe Edition, and it's 50% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 600 people have rated this 4.31 out of 5 stars, with 83% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. With this Deluxe Edition, you are getting the Mythic Hellhound skin, the VR official soundtrack, and the digital art book. And this has got to be the most incredibly complicated, awesome combat system I've ever played in any video game whatsoever. Quite literally, the more time that you put into this game, the more options you choose and play with, the more that this becomes an extension of your body. Legit, it took me about 5 or 6 hours of playing around just to get the actual controls that I wanted for this game, and it was well worth it. I legit now feel like John Wick in VR. It's incredible. And just to speak to this, I've literally put in approximately 30 hours into this game, and I've hardly scratched the surface. I keep sticking to the same weapons and guns and stuff because I'm still ranking them up. I'm still progressing in the game, and then there's a whole slew of other weapons that totally transform the entire game experience, literally, that I've yet to unlock and touch. And then there's the actual co-op mode where you can play with a friend and then combine your weapons and powers at the same time. Every time this game's on sale, I keep trying to show everybody how this is the most incredible combat system in any game I've ever played before. It's just that there's so many options to play this game, and the actual default controls, man, I totally hated, jumping into the game right away. Had I just stuck with that, I would not have been playing with it more than for half an hour to an hour. And then they just released this Resurgence update that includes the original chick from Sariento from the first PSVR, and man, I loved that game, so much so that I platinumed it, and that is one of the hardest games on PSVR1, just saying. But it's not difficult once you become accustomed to the controls. That's all it is. That's what I'm hammering in here, guys. Man, you can actually have the John Wick experience in VR if you just play with your settings. I had to go through the entire thing, comb through every section, and completely change everything, and I'm so happy that I did. And the most recent update, Alliance, now allows up to 3 players to play together in co-op. As well, this also includes a new game mode called Gauntlet with a brand new boss to conquer, as well as a brand new night and day mechanic that alters the balance of foes and rewards, along with a slew of other goodies. I am going to have to make a video for you guys, but do grab this game at 50% off, hands down. It is so worth that. I mean, again, at least 30 hours for me right now, and I'm going to put another 30 if not more. Become the demon in Metal Hellsinger VR, and it's 30% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. 160 people rated this 4.44 out of 5 stars, with 87% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Step into the half-demon body of the unknown and feel the pulse of metal rage through you. Metal Hellsinger VR redesigns the acclaimed rhythm shooter from the ground up, placing the infernal arsenal straight into your hands and the fires of hell at your feet. Experience an unparalleled state of flow as you move, dash, and aim in full VR. Remember, this is a flat screen game that has been totally transformed for the VR medium here. And just like its flat screen counterpart, you're going to enjoy a range of features from the original game, including the full epic campaign, Archdevil difficulty, torment challenges, and beat assist mode, all reimagined for VR. Quite simply, shoot to the beat to make the music unfold and your power grow. see the world around you pulsate to the rhythm, and be unburdened by a traditional interface. This totally reminds me of Pistol Whip, but unlike Pistol Whip, where you're moving forward at all times, it looks like you're moving around in a full 3D environment here, like a giant arena. And of course, unlike Pistol Whip, where it's more the electronic dance genre, this is all about the death metal, man. The multi-award-winning original soundtrack composer duo, Two Feathers, have created a thunderous original score with vocals by metal icons such as System of a Down, Lamb of God, Arch Enemy, and much more. And as you can see from the list of awards and nominations here, these guys nailed the audio in the music in the gameplay. Amazing. Seriously, I'm going to have to grab this game as soon as I can. And now that the game's been out for a little while, it does have some DLC that you can grab, and they're all on sale right now. The first one being Metal Hellsinger VR Purgatory. It's normally 20% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you can save 5% more, making it 25% off total. And that Purgatory DLC contains 3 new songs that I'm showing you right here if you want to pause and take a look, as well as new weapons and new cosmetic skins. And the second DLC they're offering is called Metal Hellsinger VR Essential Hits Pack, and it's 20% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. In this Essentials pack, you're seeing a plethora of weird songs that wouldn't normally fit the whole death metal genre here, and some of them including Gorillaz, Feel Good Inc., and Muse Uprising. And that's what took me by surprise here. I had to include it at the very beginning of this video. You know, some of these songs totally do not fit the death metal genre, but when I'd seen the actual trailer for this game, I was like, wow, that looks like a lot of fun for sure. And the last one they're offering is called Metal Hellsinger VR Dream of the Beast, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. And with this pack, you are getting 2 new songs that I'm showing you right here if you want to pause and take a look, as well as a brand new weapon and 3 outfits with passive effects. Very cool. You know, with all of those awards and nominations, and with that epic campaign, and just knowing that this game is literally Pistol Whip but totally reinvented in full 3D with that death metal genre, and if all of the content interests you, you can now get the complete edition at 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. If there's anyone in the comments section that can speak to this game, if you own it, played it, loved it, hate it, whatever, please let us know whether or not we should grab this game at the sale price. I'm assuming so, man. It sounds amazing. Print creatures and use them as weapons and tools in Genotype, and it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. 164 people have rated this 4.68 out of 5 stars, with 92% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. In Genotype, you play as a female named Evely or Evely, an intern in an Antarctic weather station. During a routine expedition, she falls through the ice into the mysterious Snowdrop Initiative laboratories. Luckily, the facility's last human survivor, William, can guide her to save herself and the entire planet. To survive, you must use the grade gloves to print creatures. As you explore the facility, you'll find ways to print new creatures and to modify and upgrade the ones you have access to. You'll have to adapt and use the creatures to battle hostile monsters, reach otherwise inaccessible places, and clear the way to venture deeper into the Snowdrop facility. You hold the fate of the world in your hands. But it's that score. You know, had I not seen that global rating, the trailer looks good to me, but that rating makes me want to check this out. Anyone in the comments section that does own the game, has played it, please let us know whether or not we should grab this on sale at that price. Crossfire Sierra Squad is a hugely popular multiplayer first-person shooter campaign, and it's 35% off right now. Over 1,800 people have rated this 4 out of 5 stars, with 75% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 10% did give this 1 star. And I can speak to this really quick. The launch of the game did have a ton of bugs. Then a month or 2 later, they totally rectified everything. And then another month later, they actually add another massive patch that fixed all the introduction levels. After a few updates now of the game since launch, I can say yes, I can recommend it at that price. And unlike all the other first-person shooters that focus on the online competitive multiplayer, this is about the campaign co-op as well as the squad-based missions. So cool. And it does include 39 types of weapons, featuring pistols, rifles, throwable and throw-backable grenades and sniper rifles with revolutionary scope mechanics, giving you plenty of options to dispatch 17 types of enemies. And in classic arcade fashion, you'll engage with heavy artillery like helicopters and LAVs. The one thing I highly recommend, because I did play the game all the way through on the default, which was arcade, I did not like it. You need to play realism mode. I'm showing you right now when you buy the game, just change that to realism. And with that, you're going to actually take your enemies down with 1 or 2 bullets. That said, you will also go down in 1 or 2 hits. So it totally encourages you to take cover at all times, which I absolutely love playing in full room scale VR. Playing that way feels the way that I wanted the game to begin with. So I ended up playing it all the way through, unfortunately, arcade. Thankfully, letting you guys know, go the realism route right away. Highly recommend that. And then there are 50 squad missions for single player or 2-player co-op on top of the 13 campaign missions. And of course, they have this 4-player horde mode co-op, which I've never played before. So the replayability, the amount of content is absolutely there. So yeah, really cool that we have that option to play a first-person shooter campaign-based game. From the original PlayStation 2, this is Rez Infinite, and it's 34% off right now. Over 6,300 people have rated this, 4.5 out of 5 stars, with 86% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And to speak to this from experience, I did try this on PSVR1. I did not play this on PS2, 20 some years ago. However, I was really disappointed on PSVR1. I gotta say, the first level, it was just like 2 or 3 enemies coming at me, and I was like, okay, I really did not get the addictive factor whatsoever and all the awards that I won. And then I rolled the dice, paid the upgrade path, and I'm so happy that I did, because the game is so much better than the PSVR1 version. It really is. With the 4K HDR OLED display, this game literally shines. It is gorgeous. Honestly, so cool. Such a trip. And I can't believe this game existed like 20 years ago. Legit, as you're seeing it, but on flat screen. So really bizarre that this actually adapts very well to the VR medium. You can choose to take advantage of the eye tracking technology where you're just looking and it locks onto the enemies this way. But I highly recommend just using your VR Sense controllers and aiming manually that way. And it was so much fun. So much fun. And unlike the PSVR 1 or the PS2 versions, this one includes an Area X mode. Tetris Effect Connected is the coolest version of the most iconic game, and it's 25% off right now. Over 6,500 people rated it, 4.59 out of 5 stars, with 90% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And I gotta say, I grew up with the Tetris for sure. I do think this is the best version by far. Love the VR medium, love the effects, but it's the way that the actual game adapts to every rotation, every movement you do. It actually has that sound effect connect with you in game. It's like you're actually integrated into it. It's really hard to describe that to you, but unlike the PSVR 1 that I did play and I thought it was good, the particle effects were not that great on PSVR 1. In this game, everything shines so brilliant, so colorful, so vibrant, so smooth. And I have to hammer this in. All of you out there, like me, who are playing PSVR 2 and you gotta wait for your 2 Sense controllers to charge at like an hour, this is when you put in Tetris and use your dual Sense controller and play that way. And before you know it, you've had a few games, all of a sudden your PSVR Sense controllers are charged. So for that alone, just having another PSVR 2 game to play while your controllers are charging, awesome. There's a journey mode, that campaign, that's what I'm doing. It just throws you into an area and then you start playing. It's really interesting. And the connected part, they have this online multiplayer mode with up to 4 other people or 3 other people at the same time. I have not played it before, but if it's anything like the original Game Boy, where you deplete one of your lines and it goes onto somebody else's screen, that sounds awesome to me. Again, I do highly recommend, if you have this on PSVR 1, just pay that upgrade fee instead of buying it again. Much cheaper, and it is totally worth it. And the other most amazing multiplayer game everyone else needs to get, this is After the Fall Deluxe Edition, and it's 70% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 75% off total. With over 1,100 people rating it 3.94 out of 5 stars, 72% of the audience gave it 4 or 5 out of 5. And with the Deluxe Edition, you are getting the exclusive PSVR 2 skin, the official soundtrack, and the digital art book.
Let's go.
That said, I did just play this expecting to play it for maybe half an hour, thinking this is a PSVR 1 game, it's going to be revamped, it's going to be okay, I'll get bored with it within half an hour. And no man, right when loading the game, I was taken back knowing this is a PSVR 1 game, but they did just upgrade the whole thing, and it does look like a hybrid of PSVR 1 and PSVR 2 graphics. Like, it's got that clarity with this dynamic lighting and all these particle effects, and it looks really good. I mean, like, really good. If you didn't know, this game actually does have a free upgrade, so if you did buy this back in the day, man, you are going to want to pop this in and play this again for sure. Unlike the PSVR 1, this does include the PSVR2 Sense haptics. You do feel that difference. Even when I'm rolling over an icon to selecting an object, I do feel that special haptic sensation. The adaptive triggers immediately noticeable, even with the guns to using a light gun on an arcade display cabinet there. The headset haptics, were immediately evident when I got hit in the head. The touch sensitivity was there right when I loaded the game. I could see all my fingers curling. The only one that didn't was the actual trigger finger. That's it. But I mean, come on.
That snow slush actually looks really good. It has depth, has transparency, and it has that 3-dimensional effect to it. Like, it looks like frozen water that's just about to become a puddle of water.
And as I'm sitting there getting a feel for the lobby, I'm hearing the music and I'm like, wow, this reminds me of Stranger Things. And then it dawns on me that this tech all around me is from the 80s. What a wicked aesthetic to everything. And then the soundtrack. So it is like the apocalypse happened in the late 80s or early 90s. And all that tech is still remaining there as you're exploring everything. Again, what I didn't expect is they throw you into the game and then I'm walking around and I realized, oh, wait a sec, I'm in a giant lobby of people. They're walking around with me in this like giant arcade. I totally dig how they incorporated the lobby within the game instead of me feeling like I'm jumping into a multiplayer mode. You know, the game just has me in the lobby, but it doesn't feel like a lobby, if that makes sense. Again, what I didn't expect is, aside from the fun factor of playing the game, I got to play with 3 AI friends. I didn't want to jump in with anybody because I didn't want to screw with their game. Got a feel for everything, and the run itself, just what they call a harvest run. You're going out and you're trying to defeat as many zombies as possible, get as many points by defeating them. You see these little glowing orbs, roll over, just simply walk over it, collect it. After you've done a section of the game, you get to a safe house where you can recharge, use some of that currency you earn to buy boosters or health or whatever, but you're trying to keep as much of that as possible, so when you're done like 3 sections of that run, you return home and then you can upgrade your weapons to either new guns or new add-ons to the guns. And that whole section in that lobby is awesome, where you go in and you adjust your gun. Again, the whole theme, the whole aesthetic really did take me back. I wasn't expecting it to be so well done. And again, I do have to admit, I see this game on sale all the time. This is the best price at 70% off. So knowing this game is really cheap pretty much on the regular, and I'm getting such a top-tiered experience here. But that free upgrade is only available to anyone that purchased this game before the launch of the PSVR2. So if you do have the disc version on PS4, you can contact Vertigo directly, show them a proof of purchase, and they will honor it and give you that free digital upgrade. But yeah, unfortunately, anyone that did buy this after the launch of the PSVR2, they will not honor it. It's only for those that did own this before the PSVR2 launch, just as a heads up. Let the music move as you catch notes, ride the rails, and dodge obstacles in Synth Riders plus 80s Mixtape Side B, and it's 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. That said, if you're a PlayStation Premium member, the base game is already a part of your library, so you may just want to buy that DLC separately. Over 1,400 people have rated this 4.68 out of 5 stars, with 93% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can totally understand why, because this is my favorite music-based rhythm game to date. And just to reiterate, that PSVR2 upgrade is such an amazing difference. I do feel that this game needs to be in every PSVR2 owner's library. And again, this bundle includes the base game, which has 77 songs already in there, and that's all I've played. And I'm telling you, the replayability in just the base game is incredible. The PSVR2 version is revolutionary. Aside from the colors, the 4K HDR display, the actual sound, the music again, and then the full 360 tracking, you could not get that on PSVR1, is phenomenal. And for those of you that do not know what Synth Rider is, really quick, the game is super simple to play. You have 2 balls as your hands, 1 of each color. You have to connect that ball with the same color ball on screen. And then you have these tracks that you're just having the ball hit, and you follow that track. Super simple stuff. However, when you hit a ball, connecting it, and you hit it dead on, you'll get more points. And then you can add modifiers with force, giving you more points. So the more power you put into it, the more points you'll get out of it. When you see a yellow ball, all you're doing is connecting both hands together, and that makes yellow. When you see a green ball, you get to choose left or right hand, and you have to finish the rest of the greens with that same hand. That is it. That's the whole game, aside from dodging any panel that comes your way, forcing you to dance and move your body. And unlike any other game, I really felt that the more I danced with the music, because I don't dance at all in real life, the easier the game became. So instead of just, being rigid and stiff, you can see I just totally let go, and all of a sudden everything started working. So amazing, so kick-ass, such a great workout, so much fun. If you love the Guitar Hero or Rock Band, you'll want to get Drums Rock, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. Over 1,100 people have rated it 4.26 out of 5 stars, with 79% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And if you're unsure whether or not the game is for you, definitely check out that Drums Rock free demo right now. And that's what I did, and I was able to get an actual sense of flavor of what the game felt like, and I was totally impressed with the actual haptics on the controllers, as well as the headset haptics. I didn't actually check out the eye tracking for the score, didn't play it enough. But yes, this is sit down, pick up and play, instant action. Aside from the arcade aspect, the game actually does feature a full-fledged 4-hour campaign, and then fight 2 bosses along the way. Very cool. The game does keep getting all of this love and support, so much DLC going on, and speaking of which, you can get the Pantera and Disturbed music pack, and it's 20% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. Les Mills, the world's leading fitness company, brings the BODYCOMBAT experience to your VR headset, and it's 34% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 44% off total. Over 500 people have rated it 4.58 out of 5 stars, with 90% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. This fitness app claims to have an extensive workout portfolio, top quality coaching, innovative mechanics, and different intensities. BODYCOMBAT is the world famous martial arts inspired workout featured in thousands of gyms globally, and it's now in VR with new punch moves and knee strikes. This is for everyone, beginner to advanced, with 50 workout plans to help achieve your goals. All workouts claim to be scientifically designed to get the best results, and this does include 2 first-class coaches, Dan Cohen and Rachel Newsham, and they'll motivate you and push you through every workout. And the description claims to have the best soundtrack to motivate you, and it does include 9 dreamlike environments to inspire your fitness journey, with more to come. And that game does remind me of Bocce VR back on the PSVR1, but 10 times better. This does look really good. I own the game, I've never popped it in before, so maybe I should sooner than later and let you guys know what I think. I'm just a little out of shape, but yeah, that might be the impetus or the excuse for me to jump into that game and check it out. Humanity is a unique blend of puzzle solving and action platforming, and it's 50% off. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Extra member, this game is already in your catalog, so do not buy this. With over 3,000 people rating it 4.19 out of 5 stars, 79% of the audience gave this 4 or 5 out of 5. This is a unique blend of puzzle solving and action platforming. Humanity puts the fate of all mankind in your hands. So yeah, you are literally a dog charged with commanding massive marching crowds to jump, turn, push, float, shoot, and climb their way to salvation. Guide the masses through 90 plus stages filled with obstacles, enemies, puzzles, unlockable skills, and wild boss fights in the narrative campaign. Very cool. Or you can browse a wide array of user-made levels or build your own, crafted via the super easy-to-use in-game stage creator. Talk about awesome replayability there. You know, that alone just intrigues me. And this is a flat-screen game that included a VR option mode, so you can play this on flat screen if you choose to, but I have no idea why you would. Anyone in the comment section that owns this game and plays it or has any experience whatsoever, should we pick this up at that sale price?
Woohoo! Welcome to Townsmen VR.
Combining elements of a god game simulation and a classic city builder, Townsmen VR is considered a hidden gem by many in the community, and it's 50% off! 378 people rated it 4.32 out of 5 stars, with 83% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Start with a small settlement and expand over a world in a fully voiced campaign and story arching over 13 islands. Build more than 20 unique buildings and upgrade them while you immerse yourself in a thrilling story with many exciting quests, or simply play without restrictions in the sandbox mode with goals set by you. As the population grows, so does the demand for food and goods. Production chains help you see this need. Build farms, grind the grain harvested at the mill, and bake delicious bread for your townies. But what if your mill won't operate without a breeze? Simply give the mechanism a push with your hands. Amongst other things, you can slap lazy workers with a fish or help citizens collect about 20 different raw materials. See the world you helped create from the view of a townsman. Yep, you can shrink yourself to experience your town at eye level with your townies. Eventually, you'll recruit brave soldiers and build catapults, bows, and crossbows to protect your island from the Black Knight's raiding henchmen. But don't worry, your personal advisor, Sir Clunkalot, will accompany you on your virtual tour of the medieval age with valuable tips. Feel the lifelike simulation of skiing that feels natural and real in Snow Scout, and it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. Over 100 people have rated this 4.49 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. In this exploration adventure on skis, you start on a 1-week stint as a volunteer for the Snow Scouts. Your task is to prepare a small ski resort in the German-speaking Alps for reopening. During your 7-day stint, you're guided by the radio in this remote and majestic mountain wilderness. The lifelike simulation of skiing makes movement through vast landscapes feel natural and real, even in limited VR play spaces. I will be checking out the room scale VR and seeing how that actually plays out. I'm very curious. Cross-country skiing as well as descent runs are featured as competitive events with online leaderboards. Awesome. Communicate with your friendly superior through an innovative communication system. The game offers a full story mode with over 3 hours of recorded narration, 20 ski races, and lots of side tasks to complete. Wow, that sounds awesome. I've never skied before, so I don't have any attachment to skiing, but I am definitely curious in checking this out. Swing and throw yourself freely across spacey jungle gym playgrounds in Toss, and it's 50% off. Over 170 people have rated this 4.28 out of 5 stars, with 86% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. The whole premise of the game is that you've simply crash landed on a cloud planet and need to collect parts to repair your ship as you launch yourself around 75 plus playground levels in 9 vibrant cloudscape biomes and rank up to become a Toss Master. It touts to be the VR game that uniquely captures agility, timing, and gamer skill required to play the beloved platformer classics. Try to race against the clock with time attack, find as many bananas as possible, or master as few grabs as possible each round. You can also compete socially by time and rank and follow your friend's leaderboard's ghost, just like the Mario Kart time trials. And don't forget there's modifiers like zero gravity and double toss by becoming a Toss Master. I've only heard great things about this game whenever it's been on sale, and a few parents now have mentioned that it's a blast to play, passing the headset around with the kids. And to celebrate 30 years of PlayStation, C-Smash VRS New Dimensions is currently 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 20% more, making it 40% off total. Over 550 people rated it 4 out of 5 stars, with 69% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. 2 new music tracks have been added by Pizza Hotline, and a Wipeout Insider new time attack mode has also been included. Now, not only can you play crossplay, this is crossplay with flat screen players. So now everyone can get in on the C-Smash VRS action. Wow, the audience just got massive there. And I can't believe this game was originally made for the Sega Dreamcast back in like the year 2000. And to think that this was not made for VR blows me away. And to have this now reimagined, redefined in VR is so awesome. I absolutely love the ping pong, the pickleball, the badminton. So to see this game in VR, immediately I was drawn to it. However, the only weird factor is that it's in low gravity. I do wish ultimately they would include like a real gravity mode. I know the whole premise is based on this low gravity thing, but everything about it is awesome. But I did play it for hours. I did not get to play any online co-op mode, which I do think would be so much fun. And for all of you single players out there, me included, what really appealed to me is that there's so many challenges in this. Having these massive panels floating around the entire area, and then you have to use your accuracy and your skill to hit these things, just feels so satisfying. You can use your left stick to horizontally slide left and right around the area, because I will not move around my room. No way, man. Just swinging my arm is good enough. And there are some power-ups that you can acquire throughout the game that are on your racket specifically. You can play standing, seated, 1 or 2 left or right-handed. And the actual dynamic music, the original tracks are so well done. It's just got such a unique feel to the game. It's amazing. And if you're unsure whether or not the game's for you, you can get the demo on the PlayStation Store right now. Now, the first-person shooter that is for everyone, apparently, this is Sugar Mess. Let's play Jolly Battle. It's 20% off currently. And as you can see here, this is a total cartoon paradise, and it claims to be a fun arcade first-person shooter for the whole family. Kind of sounds weird to say that, but yeah, it does make sense. You're going to embark on a journey through the amazing levels of the Sugar Kingdom. Make use of the vast arsenal of weapons that get stronger as you use them. Challenge mighty bosses and use their weak spots to defeat them. Or you can use special items to gain an advantage over your opponents. Other exciting activities are awaiting you, including solving challenging puzzles, riding in a unique vehicle around the kingdom, as well as feeling the rhythm and participating in musical performances. Fend off the attacks of the hilarious yummy enemies that shatter into pieces upon impact. Dive into a fairy tale world and find out the exciting story of the Sugar Prince and his mysterious enemy. And what's really cool, if you're totally unsure whether or not this is for you, me included, you can get the Sugar Mess Let's Play Jolly Battle demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. VR Skater is designed from the ground up for VR to give you the most authentic, challenging, and immersive skating game ever. and it's 67% off. If you are a PlayStation Premium member, you can try the full game for an hour and a half, but over 250 people rated this 4.22 out of 5 stars, with 80% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Feel like you're really skating with the most innovative input mechanics, allowing you the board control you've always dreamt of. Moving your hands in the same motions you would follow with your feet gives a perspective and level of control never before seen, and the sense of fulfillment experienced upon perfectly executing even the most basic tricks is something that never leaves you. I've personally never skated before, so I have no attachment to skateboarding whatsoever, but apparently this is going to help you master the art of street skateboarding, and you'll be guided through flip tricks, grab tricks, grinds, slides, and manuals, enabling you to conquer each of these skills to carve out skating lines and combos during game run, all of which each helps you rack up those points for that all-time high score. You'll skate across 7 stunning urban environments as well as the mega ramp. Test your mettle by launching yourself across the chasm. Enjoy experience points, medals, trophies, leaderboards, and the VR Skater Shop, where you can exchange your hard-earned XP and swap out your grip tape, trucks, wheels, and of course that all-important board artwork. And they do offer some DLC, some of those FX trucks there that you're seeing here, but it's not on sale currently, and they do have an extra map that's called the SL Pro Series Tour, and it's not on sale as well. However, you can get VR Skater Pro Bundle, and it's 25% off, and this bundle includes that base game with that SL Pro Series Tour, which is a bunch of maps, actually 5 brand new maps total, inspired by professional street skateboarding championships with smooth concrete terrain, as you're seeing right here. These are actual competitive arenas built for skateboarding indoors. Very cool. And with these maps, they bring with them new exciting game modes and mechanics, which that's all I can speak to. I have no idea what those are. Anyone in the comments section, if you do own the game and know what that's about, please let us know. And what's really weird, after doing the math here, it's actually cheaper to get the base game on sale and then buy the DLC at regular price than buying this Pro Bundle that includes the base game and that DLC. You know, am I missing something? I have no idea. Very bizarre. It's not only a video game, it's real tennis. This is Tennis on Court, and it's 50% off right now. Over 200 people rated it 3.53 out of 5 stars, with 58% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 17% did give this 1 star. Claiming to have real tennis engineers working on the game, everything from the racket, all the tennis equipment is used by top players on the ATP and WTA tours. You're gonna lift, slice, drop shot, retro, perform all those effects and feel like a real tennis player. At the core gameplay, you do have arcade or realistic. That's awesome that you can choose between that. Very cool. You do have 3 different types of moving, such as teleport, automatic, and manual. Interesting about the automatic, I'm assuming it snaps you right to where you need to be to swing that ball. That is a very cool option for those of you that don't want to have to move your joystick. Very neat. 13 rackets with different characteristics to match with your playstyle. You're going to get 6 incredible stadiums with different evolution surfaces such as clay, grass, and hard. As well, you'll have 5 assists to help you to perform. Service hit assist, position assist, ball trajectory correction, and more. And there's also a spectator mode to watch your friends or future opponents performing in live. So even though this game claims to be all about the realism, the simulation aspect, from everything I'm hearing in the past, when you're playing somebody online, the negative here is that you're seeing their avatar react like half a second later. So the ball will be hit and then you see the rubber banded arm move and you kind of get thrown off by it, and then you're swinging too late or something. Anyone in the comments section, if you do own this game, please let us know whether or not that's been corrected when you're playing people online. Feel the finesse of your swing, jab, and hooks in Beat the Beats VR, and it's 33% off. Over 550 people rated it 3.46 out of 5 stars, with 56% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 27% did give this 1 star. Use actual boxing moves like crosses, rolls, and uppercuts to blast your way through a series of electrifying musical levels and climb the leaderboards. Unlock new genres, complete daily challenges, and build your skill in rhythm boxing. For the serious competitor, there's also an extra challenging B-side for each track that'll make you sweat to master. So it does tout to have a lot of replayability, but if you're unsure, you can check out the Beat the Beats VR demo on the PlayStation Store right now. Reworked and refined in every aspect of the original, Stride Fates has you run, battle, and solve puzzles in pure parkour action, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 500 people have rated this 3.46 out of 5 stars, with 57% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 21% gave this 1 star. The premise of the story is that you're raised in the slums of a dystopian Arrh city. To survive and climb the ladder in elite police forces of Sky Chase, you'll have to deal with power shifts and gangs, dirty family feuds, corporate secrets, forbidden tech, and much more. Your fate is bound with other motley characters in this story. Will you accept your destiny or fight against it? Interesting, so I didn't realize you were actually part of a police squad, tasked with these missions about taking out gang members and stuff. On the PlayStation Store description, it does tout that you feel like a parkour spec ops officer. You're going to climb buildings, vault through windows, and slide down cables with lightning speed. Explore open locations under the watch of snipers and drones. Feel the thrill of close quarters combats with tactical shooter gameplay. Use your gadgets and hacking skills to outwit thugs and corporates. Sounds super cool. From dirty slums to affluent skyscrapers, you will visit many places to enjoy the view and challenge your reflexes in action-packed gameplay. And even when the game was actually released, it did get a massive patch that totally revolutionized the graphics from what I understand, not just a little patch. So these guys as well were working on upping the game and delivering on their promise. I'm not too sure whether or not the game is actually fun to play now. From all the reviews I read at launch, people were saying there was not enough parkour, and that blows me away based on what I'm seeing in all the trailers here. But yeah, anyone who's played the game recently, if you can let us know in the comment section your experience, that would be great. Should we pick this up at the sale price? That said, if you love the Guitar Hero and want that in VR, Unplugged air guitar is currently 50% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. Over 300 people rated it 3.42 out of 5 stars, with just over 50% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And I do have to say from experience, I did buy this on sale at like 40% off at the time. I did not expect anything from it. And just like Guitar Hero Rock Band, this game is extremely simple, but unlike those two other games, you only have 2 buttons on your left hand, and you have your trigger finger on your right hand as your pick. When you're using your left hand, that index finger, your trigger finger, is that tiny little bar, and you do have to hold it and keep it in that position. When you move your guitar up, that whole thing moves with you. So it is actually all about precision and keeping that spot right there. So that does feel really good. And that middle finger is the 3 fingers that you're seeing there, that giant bar. And when you see that index finger and that middle finger change colors, all that is it's telling you to turn your wrist this way, and then you're hitting that index finger or middle. That's it. But do that while you're trying to keep your finger in that exact same position and then combining your 2 fingers at the same time. I found what was really weird, is that when you're holding your pick with your trigger finger, I play guitar in real life, it doesn't feel natural. There's this giant gap in between my thumb and my index finger. So what I found worked really well, just saying, hold your controller down here and I pinch my fingers here or here like this. I'm not touching that middle finger button, I'm just holding the controller. In game, it shows my hand is open. However, when I'm strumming, it's connecting to the strings, everything's working. That was a game-changing experience for me to hold the controller that way versus squeezing that pick. That trigger finger just felt super thick, like I'm holding an eraser or something as I'm trying to play guitar. Very weird. The moment I did that, all of a sudden my scores just instantly increased, and I gotta say, out of the 2 songs, I've scored number 7 in the world. And I have to say this every time, when you play these rhythm-based music games, when you play on the harder levels, the hard and the experts, it is actually easier because you're hitting note for note. I do find when you're playing on the easier settings, you're waiting to hit the actual beat when you're already hearing it. You know the song, so it actually stifles you, if that's the best way to describe it. But do start on the easy or normal just to get a feel for it. But I highly encourage you, do push yourself right away, because you'll find that you'll hit those notes a lot faster and it'll feel far more natural. Jam out to 45 plus rock hits in 4 difficulty modes. And I'm showing you a list of songs that are included with this game. Again, this is just a handful of stuff. So when I jumped into it, I didn't expect these very popular licensed songs to be in there. So again, right away, I instantly got hooked hearing the songs I'm familiar with and then playing to them. So I cannot recommend it enough. If you love the Rock Band, the Guitar Hero, this game, Unplugged air guitar at 50% off is an absolute win for sure.
Life is a continuum of happiness.
Chernobyl Again is an adventure game that takes place in the 3D scanned Chernobyl exclusion zone for a more immersive and engaging experience. And it's currently 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Only 69 people have rated it 3.52 out of 5 stars, with 56% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 29% gave this 1 or 2 stars. In Chernobyl Again, you're going to explore the zone, experience its dark atmosphere, and follow a story story full of unexpected twists and various kinds of puzzles you'll solve while traveling through space and time. Your goal will be to stop the Chernobyl nuclear power plant explosion and the consequences it brings not only to our timeline, but to alternate futures that have become available to us thanks to your discovery of time travel. To add to this story, living without parents isn't easy. You know that well. To the world, you are a successful Ukrainian scientist responsible for discovering time travel. But deep down, you're an adult that desperately wants to see your parents again. This is what drove all of your scientific experiments. But the world doesn't care about your idealistic motives. Mighty external political forces dream of restoring the old world order using you and your discoveries, even if that means leaving a trail of scorched earth and ending your life. Now it's your call whether to follow their orders or find allies and attempt to thwart their evil plans. Just remember that in a world full of lies, mystery, and special interests, the only person you can trust is yourself. Man, that sounds awesome.
It happened unexpected. We just discovered a mysterious cave at an
And if you're looking for a first-person shooter with a lengthy campaign, apparently Cactus Cowboy Desert Warfare is that game, and it's 50% off. 180 people have rated this 4.72 out of 5 stars, with 93% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And the key takeaway I keep hearing about this is that the gun mechanics, the gameplay, is just a lot of fun. This is an 8-hour campaign with over 12 unique VR guns with manual reloading for each, and you can totally customize your guns with scopes, grips, and lasers, with over 30 weapon skins to unlock throughout the game. At an excavation site close to the Bugland border, a mysterious cave is uncovered when the Bug Army launches a sudden assault. They're after something that is inside the cave, something so precious that it sparks an all-out war. Step into the role of Cactus Cowboy, pushing back against the Bug Army and revealing the sinister plans of their leaders. Sounds simple enough, but again, I actually did end up getting this on sale last time and put about 3 hours into it, so I'm about 1/3 of the way through the campaign, and it's decent so far. That's the best way to put it considering I haven't played it fully. But do keep in mind that this is a budget title for sure, and it does show, but the gunplay is good so far. I will have to spend more time in this to give it a fair review, but it's hard to recommend with all of the other awesome games that are currently on sale right now. Bend and twist reality in this VR puzzle adventure, A Fisherman's Tale, and it's 67% off. Over 700 people have rated this 4.37 out of 5 stars, with 86% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And yes, back in the day, I have not played it on PSVR2. It was a lot of fun on PSVR1. It was a Russian doll-based environmental puzzle game where you're seeing yourself in the micro and macro version and having to work with yourself to solve the puzzles. So very cool concept back in the day. Loved it. I do believe this would be just as fun, if not look much better on the PSVR2, and the tracking. You can use your whole body to turn. That's probably going to work, I would assume. But I don't know if I can recommend anyone getting it nowadays with all the different games going on, even during this sale.
Hello? Philip, I'm in trouble. It's the magician.
The virtually hand-painted Retropolis 2 Never Say Goodbye is currently 67% off. Only 82 people have rated this 4.67 out of 5 stars, with 91% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. The story is set a year after the events depicted in The Secret of Retropolis, and continues the story of Philip Logg, the hard-boiled robo-detective, and Jenny Montage, the automated femme fatale that just can't keep herself out of trouble. Using Philip Logg's extendo arms, the player is able to collect items from afar, use them to overcome obstacles, and move the plot forward. And get this, the entire game has been meticulously hand-painted within the VR space, boasting an astonishing 2.5 million virtual brushstrokes, making every moment a stunningly detailed piece of art. Dead Hook is an explosive mix of roguelike and shooter genre with brutal combat, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 120 people have rated this 3.95 out of 5 stars, with 71% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Dead Hook is an explosive mix of roguelike and shooter genre with brutal combat and captivating storytelling. Explore the Elder Planet Resurrect and take on the role of Adam Stone, a mercenary, smuggler, thief, and devoted husband. Find legendary weapons and customize your character with 100 buffs and permanent upgrades to make each run unique. experiment with different strategies and tackle the challenges that await you in the game. Regular and elite infernals will try to stop you in the air and on the ground to defend their tombs. Bosses are uniquely designed and have multiple phases, making each encounter feel tense and exciting. You will embark on a journey to uncover the secrets of Resurrect, an AI duality, facing tough choices and unexpected twists along the way. You know, if it's anything like Doom VFR, just the slow motion combat, I see him swinging around and shooting and stuff. If it's just fun to play, you don't need an awesome storyline, and at that price, that might be totally worth it. Anyone in the comment section that does own the game, is it worth it at that sale price? Please let us know. This modern take on an incredibly rare Atari arcade prototype delivers a wave shooter that is insanely addictive in Akka Arrh, and it's 60% off. 89 people rated it 4.47 out of 5 stars, with 87% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. You're a turret desperately fighting off swarms of inbound attackers. If enemies penetrate your perimeter, you need to zoom into close range combat and beat them back, adjusting to a completely different perspective in the blink of an eye. Welcome to Jeff Minter's Akka Arrh. This is supposed to be pure arcade bliss. You'll be thrown directly into the action where combos, high scores, and survival are your only goals. Create massive chains of enemy explosions and rack up ammo for precision shots to keep a combo and your rings or life force protected. Lose them all and it's game over. And this touts to have 50 unique levels, so you can totally start from the beginning like classic arcade action, or you can pick up from where you left off to power through to the end. And for those of you that are worried about the photosensitivity, all those flashing lights, you know, you can actually turn that off, so that's very cool on their part. Kayak VR Mirage is a jaw-dropping and exhilarating journey through beautiful locations, and it's currently 30% off. That said, if you're a PlayStation Premium member, do not buy this game as it's already a part of your catalog. Over 2,500 people rated it 3.67 out of 5 stars, with 59% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can totally speak to this because I do think it looked amazing, but if you were expecting some sort of game, it really isn't. I feel like, you know, you're going through these beautiful locations on a kayak and it looks photorealistic, legit. I was quite blown away, to be honest with you, how everything just looked. What I wasn't anticipating is the movement in the water bobbing up and down. I'm a VR veteran, but I did get a subtle bit of motion sickness, not actually wanting to puke or anything like that, but yes, definitely thrown off within half hour of playing. But the game totally offers comfort settings, so you don't have to worry about that. I just think I left it at the utmost realistic that I possibly could. But I did go through each location, and again, they were beautiful, but after going through once, I was kind of like, eh. But just recently, they did release the new patch that includes the full multiplayer mode with the full avatar. You know, they're not these cartoony looking characters, they look like real people, so that's really cool that they spent the time and actually made that look amazing. This whole time I thought the multiplayer mode was racing against somebody at all times, but no, it looks like you can casually just hang out with each other as you're going through the courses, so really cool that they did this. Awesome. And they do let you know you can optionally connect your controllers to a stick to give it more of an immersive feel, so when I go to play this again, I'm going to try and do that if I can. Even though the Whitewater DLC Soka Valley is not currently on sale, you can get Kayak VR Mirage plus Soka Valley game bundle, and it's 25% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. Explore the beautiful Soka Valley in Slovenia, known for its iconic green water, mountain vistas, and lush nature. Take on a new, thrilling challenge by paddling down Whitewater Rapids, or explore the nature of this serene valley at your own pace. Dyschronia Chronos Alternate Bundle is a collection of 3 episodes in one, and it's 60% off right now. Over 110 people have rated it 4.28 out of 5 stars, with 88% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. You live in Astrum Close, an artificial marine city sealed off from the outside world under a vast dome. This safe haven is seen as the last paradise for humanity as it stands on the brink of destruction. Astrum Close is a scientifically advanced city that has a 0.001% crime rate. Revolutionary new technology predicts crime before it ever happens, thanks to the tireless efforts of city founder Albert Rumford. But the very foundations of Astrum Close are shaken when Rumford himself is found murdered in a crime that by all rights should have not been possible. Your name is Halcyon, and you are an investigator with a difference. You are known as a variant human, a person who has the unique ability to both see into and alter the past. And your unique skills are exactly what is needed now. But if you're unsure and you don't want to get the entire package and you want to buy the individual episodes, you can, with episode 1 currently 50% off. but from everything I'm reading, the entire game actually picks up at the end of episode 1, and it really starts to get going on episode 2, and that is currently on sale at 50% off. And of course, they are offering episode 3 at 50% off as well. But just saying, again, everyone everywhere who has played Dyschronia has said just get the alternate bundle. Don't waste your time getting the individual episodes. Very Bad Dreams is an intense and demanding experience that will test your nerves, and it's 80% off right now. Over 370 people rated this 3.46 out of 5 stars, with 56% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 31% of the audience gave it 1 or 2 stars. That said, I do have to quickly highlight a comment here. Last time this was on sale, and do think this game is probably worth it, especially at that incredible sale price. So unfortunately, I cannot speak to this from personal experience. I am waiting to actually play this game myself. I do think some of those negative reviews had to do with some bugs or glitches earlier on. I don't know if they've been resolved since. If anyone can speak to that in the comment section, that would be great, but I do totally want to experience this for myself. The PlayStation Store description says, forget everything you thought you knew about horror games, and I cannot. After playing MADiSON, I really can't, because Very Bad Dreams transcends the boundaries of the gaming experience. It claims that your survival depends on real actions where you'll need to react instinctively to survive this scary world. That does sound very cool. It actually says, feel the impacts of your strike force. Feel vibrations in your head when you're hit by an enemy, or your heart races. Run and jump using your real gestures. Ooh, I don't know if I like that. If I have to use my arms to actually move, a lot of games used to do that in VR. You know, I'm over that. I actually don't like that mechanic. Hold your head with both hands so as not to become mad. That is really neat. You know, very cool implementation there. So many new gameplay elements that will give you the impression of never doing the same thing. Whether you have a gun, a bat, or a knife, the best thing to do is flee and not fall into madness. I dig that. Mixture is another platformer for the PSVR2, and it's 67% off right now. Only 38 people have rated it 3.97 out of 5 stars, with 74% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And I have to say, I did start playing this game, and I put in maybe 4 or 5 hours into it, and as you're seeing the ratings right here, I do feel completely mixed right now. But it just has enough for me to go, oh, you know, that's actually really cool. Picture playing a moss-based game where you're seeing your little guy running around and you can attack and stuff, but at the same time, I'm using a weapon wheel by holding a button down, and I choose a specific potion that I'm making, one of them being like glue, and then I throw it on the enemy or enemies, and throwing the actual bottle, you can choose between aim assist and no aim assist. I actually went no aim assist, and I gotta say, the tracking's awesome. I was able to actually throw these bottles and connect them to the enemies there without any problem, so I was very happy about that. Games like Moss and stuff didn't offer that, so it is giving something new, but it does feel like a Quest 2 game. You know, the actual graphics aren't that great. They're really bare bones. I feel like, okay, like Moss on PSVR1 looked way better than this, what I remember. And the frame rate, when I'm moving the guy around, it doesn't feel silky smooth, and you would expect that with this bare bones looking game. So yeah, the frame rate not even perfectly smooth. Or in mid-combat, I'm having to look literally straight down, like I mean hurting my neck straight down trying to see what's going on. So you can totally tell this game is not polished, but it is introducing these new concepts I've never seen before in other games. So, you know, I still feel like I have to put some time into it to see if there's anything else to speak to about this. But right now, I just didn't like that frame rate. It wasn't perfectly smooth, and that throws me off when I'm totally used to that on most of the games now on PSVR2.
We just got a call from the Black Rose Mental Hospital in Craven Lane 11. Any of you nearby?
Afterlife VR is another adventure-based horror game, and it's 25% off right now. 156 people rated it 3.21 out of 5 stars, with a completely mixed bag, but most people giving it 3, 4, or 5 out of 5. As Adam Bernhard, a young rookie police officer on a night patrol, you receive a call that will change your life forever. Uncover secrets hidden deep within the Black Rose Mental Hospital walls, where most of the patients pose a great danger. What is really lurking behind the door of a well-known mental facility, where Adam's younger sister Allison was recently sent? Is there any connection between missing patients and hospital workers, and the groundbreaking study about the Indigo Children phenomena? Uncover the secrets hidden deep within the Black Rose Mental Hospital walls, where most of the patients pose a threat to themselves and to others. Look into the eyes of pure madness, intrinsically linked with this place and its history. Will you dare? Join the Autobots in the fight against the Decepticons as you brave your new exosuit in Transformers Beyond Reality, and it's 45% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 50% off total. 278 people have rated this 3.06 out of 5 stars, with people either loving or hating this game. Really weird. The The story for this one is that the Decepticons have discovered an incredibly powerful but completely unstable and corrupting energy source called synthetic dark energon. With this power, they can finally take over their home planet Cybertron and will destroy Earth in the process. And from everything I've read, I think the big bummer here is that most of the game you're actually fighting the same Insecticons. So these generic bug type robots are everywhere, and you might have a boss battle here and there, but it's like you're in this exosuit as all the other Transformers are fighting the boss. Whether or not you're helping, I'm not too sure. Again, I will play this eventually, but I do believe the PSVR2 version is much better than the PSVR1 version, and you can upgrade it for free if you didn't know.
You had never heard of Happy Funland Theme Park.
Now I can say from experience, Happy Funland was not fun and did not make me happy whatsoever.
And it's currently 53% off. 188 people have rated this 3.84 out of 5 stars,
But 70% scored this 4 or 5 out of 5, and I have to say I'm not one of them, that's for sure. I did get a free review key at launch, so I covered it immediately, and it was littered with bugs, no joke. It was actually almost unplayable for me when I found the jankiness. The frame rate was so bad and inconsistent throughout. Really disliked it. As much as I usually go on and on about all the problems that were with the game, you can check out my review video. I go on and on about it, literally. And I did say it in my video, even with all the problems being fixed, I don't think I can recommend this. So yes, please check out the video. I don't want to talk about it for 5 more minutes when you can actually just go take a gander yourself and see whether or not you'd like this. Rampage through a sprawling cityscape, smashing buildings, tossing cars, and leaving a trail of destruction in Gorilla Attack. And it's 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. Only 42 people have rated this 3.52 out of 5 stars, with half the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but just under a quarter of them gave this 1 or 2 stars. Now, I cannot speak to this game from personal experience, but I can say I highly recommend you guys check out Without Parole's quick 2 or 3 minute review on the game, and I'm going to leave a link in the description because I do think he does an excellent job and totally informs you of what you should expect if you decide to get this game at that sale price. Unwind as you search for hidden treasures at your own pace in Unhidden Cozy Hidden Object, and it's 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 40% off total. Only 9 people have rated this 4.44 out of 5 stars, with 7 of them giving it 5 out of 5, 1 gave it 4, and 1 gave it 1 star. Because I couldn't find anything about this game or even a trailer, my first thought was to check out Cusman's YouTube channel, and I found the gameplay footage shown right here. I've included a link to this video in my description and highly recommend you check it out, along with the detailed written description about Cusman's first impressions with it. That said, I highly recommend you read all of the descriptions of Cusman's PSVR2 videos, as they are very detailed and super informative. And I just want to say thanks so much to Cusman for allowing me to share this gameplay footage with everyone and your ongoing support for the PSVR2 community. Awesome. Bocce VR Simulator is quite literally what it says, and it's 33% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 3% more, making it 36% off total. Only 25 people have rated it 1.96 out of 5 stars, with over half the audience giving this 1 star. I personally love playing Bocce, so if this does anything like it does, then I'm sold. The game claims to bring the classic game of Bocce to life in a stunning virtual reality experience. Known and loved by many for its simplicity and fun, Bocce is perfect for players of all ages. The game is extremely easy. You just start off, one person throws this Polino ball, it's a tiny white ball, and then wherever that is, you're trying to throw your balls as close as possible to that Polino. And then at the end of the round, the closer balls get the most points, essentially. And when you're playing against with somebody, you can actually knock their ball away from the Polino. So even though your opponent could have thrown an awesome shot to begin with, you can totally knock them out of the area where they don't score anything, and then you take their spot. Very cool. It does include an obstacle mode for added challenge. I'd love to see what that looks like. It does claim to have advanced AI for realistic competition, customizable game point targets, and stunning graphics with immersive gameplay. Whether or not this game actually does what Bocce does, I have no idea. Again, anyone in the comment section, if you own the game, please let us know. Does this actually play like Bocce in real life? Solve a mystery of the famous detective in this VR escape room called The Murder of Sherlock Holmes. And it's 60% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 65% off total. Only 30 people have rated this 1.87 out of 5 stars, with 70% giving this 1 star, but 20% giving this 4 or 5 stars. Wow, what happened here, man? I gotta check this out sooner than later, because I am genuinely interested in the whole premise of the actual game and how you can interact with everything. And that's what makes VR uniquely special. So to see that rating and to know this game offers us, I want to know what's going on. Is it glitchy? Does it not work? Are the controls janky? Anyone in the comment section, if you can speak to this game, please let us know. Why did the score so low? What's going on? Is it too short of a game? I'm genuinely curious. And the last item on sale is DLC for Walkabout Mini Golf, and this is another creative course called Sweetopia, and it's 75% off right now. Okay, so that is all of the games and DLC during this Planet of the Discount sale until Wednesday, February 26th. If you guys like the video or any of the sales videos that I produce, please click that like button. And if you love what I'm doing with the channel, please subscribe to it. And for all of you that have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I super appreciate it. Until the next one.